What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. We start today's games off 17 wins and just the 3 losses. We come up against a guy with a pretty strong team, that 3 lone prime icons at 91 David De Gea, and things started off quite well for me on this game. Like I say, I was 17-3. Dani Alves there picks up the goal to put me 1-0 to the good. Sadly, I did concede another goal. Now, without wanting to spoil the video, I kind of have to spoil the video a little bit in terms of the results to talk about my weekend and something that I realised quite heavily about the way I'm playing. Yesterday's video, a stark contrast to today's video, I was talking about how good I felt like I was playing. And the reason why I felt like I was playing so good is because there was no pressure for me to perform. I was able to take my time with my games and I was able to give everything in every game. And if I lost a game, I was able to walk away for a while. Or not that I was able to, I just did walk away for a while. And the reason why I walked away and left that game behind is because I knew that I wasn't planning on finishing all these games because there wasn't enough time. When EA announced the extension of the weekend league on Sunday, I then sat there and thought, now I have a good chance. I was 17-3. If they didn't extend a weekend league, I would have just played to 18 wins and I would have stopped there. Because they extended it, I started playing and playing and playing. And I lost that game there to a Patrick Vieira tap-in and a Patrick Vieira long shot. Fair enough, it was a close game. I could have won it. I had my chances and I should have played a bit better. But that put me to 17-4. That's not a problem. 17-4 is absolutely fine. We then move into the next game. Basically, bottom line is we went from 17-3 to 20-5. So we had won 3 and lost 2. Now that's not so bad because if we can win 3 and lose 2 of the next 5, we're in a good spot at 6-4. The problem is that I took a couple of losses against a couple of dudes that I just got angry. Essentially, I bottled it. I started playing far too much FIFA for far long. I started forcing games in even when I was frustrated at the game. It was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, so I was super tired anyway. I'd played well in excess of 20 games because although this is the set of 10 games for today, when I started playing on Sunday, I'd only played 12 games through Friday and Saturday. Sorry, 14 games. So I was 12-2. So when I started playing on Sunday, I was 12-2 and I played up to 17-3 and then you saw those videos on Sunday. So I went from 12-2 all the way up to 20-5. So I'd already played 13 games of FUT Champs by 20-5 and I'd played 8 games of FUT Draft. So I'd already played 21 games of FIFA from the point where EA announced the extension of the weekend league. Now I know what you're thinking, it's just excuses, and it is excuses, but it's a big realization for me and another good thing because I spoke so vividly about how well I was playing on the first set of games all the way up to 17-3 and how I was playing some tough opponents, I was playing composed FIFA. And as soon as I lost that composure and I got tired and I got frustrated, it all went out the window for me. And what I should have done is that at the point I got to 20-5, I should have just said, that's it for today. We'll come back tomorrow, we'll play some more games and we'll be fine. But what I kept doing is I kept playing through and I kept playing through and I kept playing through. And sadly, I went from 20-5 to 20-8. I lost 3 on the bounce. I actually think I lost 4 on the bounce in there as well. I think I might have been 20-4 I might have been as well. I think it might have been 20-4 or 19-4. I can't remember exactly what. But bottom line is I started just getting so flustered at this game that a few things happened. Number one, I was telling myself so much. I could feel myself mentally pressing R1. I was like, what? Like literally angry at me, not at FIFA, not at my opponent. I was angry at myself, saying like, damn man, I keep holding RB and it keeps costing me goals. It kept costing me goal after goal after goal. So although I was performing okay, I was losing games because I just kept making stupid errors. And that's something that's notable for me and something that I want to try and change going forwards. And I know this is probably a broken record. And for those of you that heard this a million times, I apologise. I really want to be a better player. I really want to get better at this game and become the best FIFA player that I can be. But I just feel like with FUT Champs, for me personally, I don't have the mental composure to play at my best level for 40 games in 3 days. And that's again proven by the fact that when they gave an extra day and I started rushing through some extra games, I just fell apart again. You know, it's such a shame. That was one of those games that I lost. His goalkeeper made 7 saves, my goalkeeper's 1. This dude literally sat and parked the bus from kickoff and just made no attempt to score it other than when he got a counter attack. Was very frustrated I didn't win that game. And that's the game. That's the game right there. I don't know what my record is there. That's the game that I should have just stopped. I should have just quit playing FIFA at that point, because that wound me up. That game wound me up. Even if I just took a 30-minute break or a 45-minute break, I should have just stopped for a while, cleared that game out of my head, moved on and come back fresh. But I didn't. I went straight into the next game and straight into the next game. And you'll see the gameplay, man. What you'll see from me is just really poor. This goal right here that I concede, just dragging every man out to the ball, giving him gaps and space. All my own fault. Like I said, it's no excuses, but for me to be able to get better at the game, I need to be able to play more games at my highest level for a longer period of time. And I remember speaking to Jabba way back at the start of the game this year, and I said, how do I do that? You know, he said basically what Jabba said to me is, you have the skill set to get into Elite 1 every week, but you don't have the composure, right? I don't have the personal mental stability to stay on top of things for the whole 40 games. So I asked him, how do I change that? And he literally said, by playing high pressure a lot until you get used to it. And the best way to do that is not to spam games in Foot Champs, but during the week is to play quality opponents often, as much as I can, just so I'm used to playing in intense games. But I just don't have the time to do it, which is really, really sad. It's really sad that I don't have the time to do it. Anyway, guys, I've got some comments. Lars Rayner says, hey, Nep, I'm a bit late, but I would want you to stay on YouTube. You're one of my favourite YouTubers and I watch Road to Glory a lot. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that, Lars. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, that's for sure. In terms of that discussion we had about Twitch yesterday, I'm not anticipating moving to Twitch for some years, if ever at all. You know, you never know in this industry how things just change on a heartbeat. One day you're on top of the world. Like, for me, prime example, October and November 2017, during the start of the game, I was getting 300 to 500,000 views a video. January and February, I'm getting 150 to 200,000 views a video. This industry just, for a multitude of reasons. Sometimes it's YouTube, sometimes it's the game you're playing, sometimes it's the content you're producing, sometimes it's a combination of all three. Like, you know what I mean? There's many reasons, but I'm not making any choices soon. X-Poison Gaming says, can't get over how bad this game is. Lorenzo Rishwin says 4-1-2-1-2 or 4-2-3-1, talking about my formation choice that's different this year. And Stray says, not Stray, sorry. And Andrea says, hey Nepo, stop saying Saturday is your collapse. First of all, be positive, and because if you keep saying it's eventually going to happen, think like a winner. Or you can fix by not playing Saturdays. Find a way to stop saying negative stuff for yourself. Love the bits. It's not about, I don't sit there beforehand and say, oh, Saturday's my bad day, I'm going to go into this and lose. It's after the fact that I take data and I analyse it. And it is always the case that Saturdays are the days where I perform the worst. But today, these games here that I played on Sunday have actually shown that it's not about the day that I'm playing. It's the section of games that I'm playing and the amount of time that I'm playing them for. So it seems to be between games sort of 15 and 30 for me. That little pocket of games there is just ridiculously difficult because that's when I'm trying to force the games out the most, you know? So it's not about, like, thinking like a winner isn't going to make me win. If I just sit there and think, I hope I win this game, I'm not just going to come away with a win. Like, you have to have the skill set. And so, to the person that said 4-1-2-1-2 or 4-2-3-1, I tell you something, man. 4-2-3-1 is a considerably more efficient formation. It's so much better defensively. The structure is so much better. It is, once you work out and understand the movements of the offensive side of the play transitions, it's relatively easy to score goals. I like 4-2-3-1 a lot better than I like 4-1-2-1-2. But once again, as you see by these results here, it doesn't matter what formation I use. Once I get to breaking point, I could use any formation and any team because I'm the problem. I'm the one that ultimately makes the fundamental errors that cost me games. It's not my team, it's not my formation, it's me and up here. This is the problem. This right here, not being able to stay composed and fresh, is a humongous issue for me. This guy here, Crazy Fat Gamer, he is a top 100 player. This is a few games ago, I should have stopped playing for the evening. This game, I should have stopped playing for the evening because I realised that I'm coming up against top tier opponents at this point. This was, every game I was playing this evening on this run of games, I was playing against really strong opponents, or most of the games, really strong opponents. And Crazy Fat Gamer is a top 100 weekly and monthly player. Right now, I think he's like top 60 in the world monthly. I actually gave a really good account of myself for this game, and I was disappointed to come out of this one with a loss in what was a very, very even game. And I conceded a couple of unfortunate games. You know, Pogba hitting a sliding shot on his weak foot that deflects off the keeper and goes in. Just a little bit disappointing to concede something like that in a game where it means so much. You know, that's just a great goal. Like, that little turn with Suarez there completely sold me. And again, that comes from me pressing him too hard. There was absolutely no reason for me to rush out there and try and win the ball back. I could have just contained, waited for him to make a move, and then reacted to it instead of pressing him and letting him react to my bad defence, you know. But I got back into the game at 4-2 with 10 minutes to go. Sadly, it wasn't enough. I was unable to get anything else out of the game. But when you look at the match stats, he played the 4-2-2 there as well, I believe. When you look at the match stats, everything was dead even except the goals. I was really, really happy with how I came out of that game. I came out of that game thinking to myself, like, if I can play to this level against all the opponents throughout the whole week, I'll definitely get 34 wins a week, because I played a really good game of FIFA, but I was just beaten by a guy who was better than me on the day. You know, like, look at the stats here. He had a tiny bit more possession, a tiny bit more passing, and 2 shots more in general, but no more shots on target. So he was obviously just more efficient in taking his chances. But I sat there and thought, man, let's just go into the next game and play that good. Because if I can play that good in the next game, I'll walk away with wins on wins on wins. But the problem is, I can never take that level of play into every single game, because I let the little things bug me so much. So it's not about thinking like a winner, or it's not about what formation you choose, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's about learning how to deal with the controversy that the game throws up. So when that guy that said this game is garbage, there is a lot wrong with this game. Like this, I don't know how I concede a goal here. Like, it's just trash, isn't it? I don't know why the goalkeeper slide kicks the ball instead of just gathers it, first of all. And second of all, I don't understand why the ball looped so high and allowed his attacker to get it. That's neither here nor there. But like I say, the bottom line is for me, it's not about my team or my formation or anything like that. It's simply about being able to stay on top of my game for as long as possible. And I don't have the capabilities to do that. So I'm just going to have to sadly accept and understand that until I change something drastically in the way I approach playing FIFA through the week, I'm never really going to grow past the sort of like 29 win rate that I'm at. And that's sad, but that's the truth. Next comment is from Yuri Herman. Says, Yonet, why don't you participate in one of the Gfinity tournaments? By the way, keep up the good work. So last year I wanted to start playing in Gfinity because I really wanted to get better at FIFA last year as well. And this year I would also love to participate in Gfinity. The problem is that Gfinity events start at 6 PM and I can't do it then, because Tuesdays is marquee matchups, Thursdays is rewards, Fridays, like for example this Friday coming, we're going to have one new one to watch items. So 6 PM is such an important time in the FIFA world for promo events, and then for me and YouTube and making videos, that I will miss. Basically, I'll get kicked out by not playing my game first of all. So I would like to, like, one of my aspirations is to set up something like Gfinity, but for myself, you know, like my own brand of Gfinity in a sense, where I just set up tournaments every day with prizes for people, and then I'll be able to take part in something like that. Or if Gfinity had something where they could create tournaments so that you don't have to play from 6 PM, that would be great. I do believe that there is an NA tournament that runs from 10 PM UK time, but it's against NA opponents, so the connection would be terrible and it would be kind of pointless, really. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to play more against top opponents. Every time I watch a top opponent, and every time I play against a top opponent, my game immediately improves and I play at a higher level. But when I don't stay playing at that high level, my game deteriorates, and that's where the problems come. You know, like I'm saying the same thing over and over. I apologise. Warren Thomas says, "A quick foot champs, it's not worth the stress. Plus, it feels like a chore." You and many others, Warren. One thing that is interesting to me that I wanted to do that I never got around to doing is comparing 40 games of draft and how many coins I would make off of that, generally speaking, versus 40 games of foot champs and how many I would make off of that, generally speaking. Obviously, in foot champs, you get monthly rewards. You don't get that kind of thing in draft. But in my draft to glory, I have won something like 15 of the last 17 drafts, and in every episode except one of the last 15 or 16, I've made at least 5 to 10,000 coins. So in a space of 40 games, I've made at least 100 to 200,000 coins. And I got to play casually when I wanted, with different teams and different formations. And I might have ended up making 300,000 coins. Now that's a good amount of coins to make. The sad part is that if I do lose in the first round instead of winning the draft, of course, then that price reduction, the profit comes vastly down. You make considerably less profit. And of course, I could have got lucky. I haven't really got lucky with the packs either. I've just been making profit because the packs have so many items in them that are sellable. So there's definitely something to be said that draft could be a good alternative, specifically when there are promos in packs. So Team of the Year, Ones to Watches, Path to Glories, etc., etc. Could be very, very good to pursue draft instead of FUT Champs. But I love competitive gaming, man. I love playing FIFA. I love to try and test myself against other players. There's no point playing draft and building up a 6 squad if I'm just going to ignore that squad to play draft even more. So yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, I don't think I'd ever quit FUT Champs. I think I'd always play to at least sort of 14 or 18 wins just because I enjoy it. I just hope and pray that one and or two of two things happen. Number one, they add a 4th day, because if I just look at 10 games per day, I can do that no problem. 10 games per day, I can play high volume, 10 games per day, no problem at all. So if they add an extra day this year, that would be great. Or if they completely revamp the structure and change it next year so it's a ladder rank system like every other esport, that also would be absolutely sensational, because then when you take a loss that you feel was undeserved or that was hard, you get time to go and reset and come back, but you just don't get that in FUT Champs this year. But anyway, guys, this is the end of the gameplay. We're going to go live now, have a look at the team, the results, some things around, and I ended up finishing 22-8. Not the greatest. I feel like 24-6 would have been a much better representation of how I've actually played over the games, but 22-8 still not the worst. This is the end of the gameplay. Let's go live. All right, guys. So after 30 games, we're at a pathetic 22-8. Now, by normal circumstances, I'd be very happy with that, but I probably would have explained it through the video already. You know, I just played bad yesterday during the games. There's no excuse. I let the game get the better of me. I let my rage get the better of me, and I should have stopped playing at 20-5. I should have quit right there. 20-5 should have been when I stopped. I played 3 more games and lost all 3 of them in a row. So, you know, my own stupid fault. It should have been game over right there. But 22 with 10 games to go. I actually don't think I'm going to get through them. It's already 7 PM on Monday night. I still haven't finished this video yet, so I've still got to edit, render, upload this video. So between 7 and 10, I'm pretty booked out. And then from 10 onwards, I've got a few things going on that I've got to do. Obviously, with a newborn coming in February, I've got to move the bedroom around, put up drawers and such for the baby when he comes. So that was set a time aside for this evening. So I want to try and get 3 games just to get to 25 wins. I want to try and get there. But I don't think it's going to matter in terms of monthly ranks if I do anything. So 6 wins for Gold 1. Based on my last set of 10, I might not even get 6 wins. I went 5 wins and 5 losses out of my last 10 games. And that's just silly, man. That's just silly. I'd say, though, it's my bad. It's my fault. My stupidity. We've got a Just Play accomplishment completed there. An Argentinian assist accomplishment completed there. We get a lovely bronze contract pack. I definitely spotted some weaknesses in the team. I'm very excited to get that 94 Neymar back into the team. I can't afford the 95 Neymar. Oh, of course it's going to be. Unless this is a 95 Neymar and we can play a few games with the loan version. That would be pretty awesome. It's not. Yeah, I can't afford the 95 Neymar. He's about 1.4 million. The 94 Neymar, I bought him for 980k. I sold him for 980 something k. I can't remember exactly what. I sold him because you guys said that his price would crash, and he's now 1.1 million coins. So by normal circumstances, I should theoretically have enough, as we open these pre-order packs here, I should theoretically have enough to be able to pick him up. But sadly, he's just a little bit too expensive still. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. Hopefully, like I say, we can go and get ourselves some gold 1 packs. If I can get 6 wins, that would obviously be great, because 6 wins would get me gold 1 monthly instead of gold 2 monthly. And 7 wins would get me elite 3 weekly. I am just super disappointed in myself. As I say, there's no excuses for the way I played. Just the fact that I was forcing games, that was a problem. I played so much FIFA on that day that I could. It was late anyway. It was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, so I was actually tired. I was FIFA tired because I played well in excess of 20 games that day, and I was just playing angry. And that combination of effects, like, regardless of how good or bad my opponents were, I was putting myself at such a disadvantage because of that. What I should have done is stopped at 20 and 5. Yeah, sure, I'd be sitting here with 15 games left instead of 10 games left, but I'd be having a much better opportunity to get myself into Elite 3 if I could finish the game. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm not super fussed about it. You know, I was going to stop at 18 anyway. If they didn't extend it by a day, I would have finished already, and it wouldn't be none the wiser. I definitely want to get rid of Rui Costa or Raphael for Neymar. I can't decide which one yet, because I really enjoy Raphael. He's done well for me. 9 goals and 10 assists. But Rui Costa just seems to give a little bit more. You can see there, Rui Costa has 853 goal contributions in 753 games. Whereas Raphael has 19 goal contributions in 32 games. Some of those on as a sub, but generally speaking, it seems that Rui Costa is a little bit more efficient. So, picking up Neymar is going to be the next priority, ultimately. But I need, like I say, I need the money for him. Let's go and have a look real quick on the market for that Neymar. Who knows? Maybe his price has crashed for some weird reason. Let's go for minimum 800,000, 900,000. Let's go minimum 900,000, a maximum 1,000,000, and see if it gives us. Yeah, see, it just gives us the team of the group stage card there. So the next, I'd say, I think the next Neymar, I think is like 1,050,000. Not even. Maybe even like what, 1,080,000. Not even. So he has gone all the way up to 1.1 million coins now. Not even. That is wild. We're actually heading up towards it. There you go. 1.105. That's a card that I sold because, you know, I'm not blaming you guys at all. I made the decision at the end of the day. It was my choice to sell him. But had I held on to him, I could have, A, I could have kept him and kept using him. And B, I could have actually made a bit of a profit on him. So that's a little bit frustrating that I sold him, you know, a bit hastily. And he was going to be, like I say, he was going to be the guy. But what I might go for now, because of how expensive he is I might go for Eden Hazard instead. Because we can get the 91 Eden Hazard for 900,000 coins. And that's me set it at 900,000 coins as well. So let's go down to like 830, 900. It might be worth picking up this Hazard. Now, of course, this isn't the 92 Hazard or the 90... Is it a 93 Hazard that we're at? Let's have a look. But the benefit of Hazard over Neymar... I know Neymar has 5-star, 5-star. But the benefit that we have with Hazard over Neymar is that he'll get 10 chemistry opposed to 7 chemistry. So he gets an extra little boost there. But yeah, the 92 Hazard is 1.15. 93 Hazard is 1.18. I guess because he's a left wing. It's probably the most efficient to get the 91 Eden Hazard. And in fact, maybe we should just do it now. Maybe we should just not even worry about it, not even talk about it, and just pick it up. What do we reckon? He'll be great on the wing for me. He will be like one of my outside cams, not my inside cams. So he'll go in there instead of Rui Costa. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just pick him up. Let's take that Hazard, 840,000. Huge player bought for the team. Let's go and add him to the bench. And then we'll see how we set this team up. I shouldn't have to make too many changes, actually. I might even be able to just throw him straight in there instead of Raphael. Because Dani Alves and Thiago Silva are already done. If we put Eden Hazard in there, no, he doesn't get enough. So I'm gonna have to start like that, aren't I? De Bruyne's fine, Hazard's fine, Gabriel Jesus is fine, Luis Gustavo is fine. Everybody gets 10 chem. I just need to do the position modifier for the two boys here. But if I start 4-3-1-2, can we go from here with those two there and those two there? That's everybody like that. Boom. There we go. I don't even have to buy position modifiers. Well, I have to buy one position modifier to get... Actually, with the correct manager, which we should be okay to do now. If I actually just put a Premier League... Portuguese Premier League would be ideal. I think everyone gets 10 chem on here now. Luis Gustavo's on 9, so I'd need to give Luis Gustavo a position modifier to a CM and Hazard 10 games. But for the time being, I'll play them off chem. But there you go. That is now the new addition to the team. I feel like that's an upgrade, definitely compared to Raphael, mostly just because of the pace. If you actually look at stats, Raphael's got more physical, more defending, same passing, more shooting, just less dribbling and less pace. But dribbling and pace is super important in this game. And of course, Eden Hazard has really high composure and just very well-rounded stats. So with that Hunter Chem style, we're going to have Hazard as one outside midfielder, De Bruyne as the other outside midfielder, and that is one major upgrade to this team. And I'm happy with that. You know, it releases a little bit of pressure at the start of the games, hopefully. But this will be the team that we play the next 10 games with, guys. So thank you for watching. This is going to be the end for today. I hope Eden Hazard makes a big difference to our gameplay. And I will see you next time. I'm out. Peace.